Listen carefully. This is not about texting etiquette. This is not about being busy. This is not about timing. This is about power. When her responses start slowing down, when hours stretch into silence, when the rhythm you once had suddenly breaks, something has changed. And if you don't understand what changed, you become the one reacting instead of leading. Most men miss this moment. Most men explain it away. Most men lie to themselves because the truth makes them uncomfortable. But the truth is simple and sharp. When she delays responses, she is shifting power. And the moment you chase that delay, the shift is complete. Power is never taken loudly. It moves quietly. It moves in small behavioral changes. A little distance here, a little silence there. Just enough to make you notice. Just enough to make you think. Just enough to see if you flinch. And most men do flinch. They check their phone again. They reread the last message. They start asking themselves what they did wrong. They send another text, then another. And with each one, they lean forward while she leans back. That's the shift. Understand this. People prioritize what they value. Always. Not sometimes. Always. When someone wants to respond, they respond. When someone wants to maintain connection, they maintain it. Delayed responses are not accidents. They are decisions. And decisions reveal intent. She may be busy. She may have a life. But consistent delay after consistency is a signal. And signals are not meant to be ignored. Here's where men lose control. They personalize it. They think it's about them needing to do more, say more, explain more. They think effort will fix it. But effort in the wrong direction only speeds up your loss. When power is being shifted, the worst move is chasing it back. Power doesn't return to those who beg for it. It returns to those who can walk away from the table without emotion. When her responses slow down, she is watching how you handle discomfort. She is watching whether silence makes you anxious. She is watching whether you stay centered or start spiraling. And the moment you show impatience, urgency, or insecurity, she learns something about you. She learns that she can control the tempo. She learns that your mood depends on her availability. She learns that she leads and you follow. Men who understand this don't react. They don't confront. They don't accuse. They don't ask, "Why are you taking so long to reply?" Because that question already places you beneath her. It says you're waiting. It says you're bothered. It says she occupies more space in your mind than you occupy in hers. And once that imbalance is felt, it doesn't correct itself with words. The strongest response to delayed responses is not anger. It's not coldness. It's not passive-aggressive behavior. It's composure. It's continuing your life exactly as it was before. It's responding when you feel like it, not when anxiety tells you to. It's matching energy without announcing it. And most importantly, it's being okay with the possibility that this connection may fade. That last part scares men, because men often tie their identity to access. Access to her attention. Access to her validation. Access to her presence. But a man who is grounded does not need constant contact to feel solid. He doesn't measure his worth by response times. He measures it by his discipline, his purpose, his standards. Delayed responses are a test. Not always a conscious one, but a real one. It tests whether you are outcome dependent. It tests whether you can hold frame. It tests whether you respect yourself enough not to overinvest when the return is shrinking. Fail the test, and the power shift accelerates. Pass it, and something interesting happens. Either she adjusts, or she removes herself. Both outcomes save you time. Let's talk about the illusion of being busy. Everyone is busy. Everyone has a life. Yet people still respond to what matters. You don't delay things you don't want to lose. Keep that in mind. When delays become patterns, patterns become messages. And messages don't need decoding if you're honest with yourself. The moment you start waiting by the phone, you've surrendered leverage. The moment you alter your behavior to regain attention, you've confirmed the imbalance. The moment you overthink, you've lost presence. And presence is everything. Presence is confidence made visible. Presence is what makes someone respect you without you saying a word. A man with presence doesn't fill silence. He lets it exist. He doesn't rush to close gaps. He allows space to reveal truth. And space always reveals truth. If someone values you, space brings them closer. If they don't, space creates distance. Either way, you gain clarity. Delayed responses often come with mixed signals. When she does respond, she may be warm. She may be affectionate. She may act like nothing changed. That's intentional. That warmth keeps you hooked. It keeps you hoping. It keeps you engaged just enough to tolerate the delay. That's conditioning. And if you're not careful, you become trained to accept less while giving more. Men who don't get trained, they notice patterns early. They adjust early. They don't wait until frustration turns into resentment. They don't let small disrespect grow into normalized behavior. They handle it quietly, internally, with decisive calm. Here's the rule. Never invest more where effort is decreasing. That rule applies to business, friendships, and relationships. When response time increases, your availability should decrease. Not as a tactic, as balance, as self-respect, as alignment. You don't need to announce this shift. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to say, I'm pulling back because you're pulling back. That's negotiation. And negotiation only happens when you feel you're losing. A man who is solid simply reallocates his energy. He doesn't make speeches. He makes decisions. Another truth men avoid. Sometimes delayed responses are not about power games. Sometimes they are about loss of interest. And that's okay. Interest is not owed. Attention is not guaranteed. What matters is how you respond to that reality. Do you chase fading interest? Or do you maintain your dignity and move forward? Chasing never revives attraction. Never. It only confirms desperation. Attraction grows in space, not pressure. Respect grows when you can let go without bitterness. And women feel that. They feel when a man is not afraid to lose them. That fearlessness changes everything. When you don't chase delayed responses, you send a silent message. You say, I have a life. I have options. I am not waiting. That message is powerful because it's unspoken. And unspoken confidence is louder than any words you could send. Men who lose power argue with reality. Men who keep power adapt to it. If the dynamic shifts, you don't complain about the shift. You adjust your position. You step back. You observe. You let time do its work. Time exposes intentions better than confrontation ever will. Let me be clear. This is not about playing games. This is about not being played. There's a difference. Playing games requires effort, calculation, manipulation. Not being played requires standards, awareness, and restraint. One is exhausting. The other is freeing. Delayed responses only hurt men who are idle. Men who have nothing else going on. Men whose focus is external. When your life is full, when your goals demand attention, when your days are structured, you don't notice delays as much. You don't assign meaning to every pause. You don't let someone else's availability dictate your emotional state. And that's the level you should aim for. Not pretending you don't care, but not being controlled by care. Caring without attachment. Interest without dependency. Presence without neediness. If she delays responses and you remain steady, you regain leverage. If she continues delaying, you gain information. Information is power. It tells you where to invest and where not to. It tells you whether alignment exists or not. And alignment is the only thing worth pursuing. Too many men fight for attention instead of building value. Attention follows value. Respect follows boundaries. Desire follows mystery and strength. None of those come from chasing a phone screen. Delayed responses are a fork in the road. One path leads to anxiety, overthinking, and self-betrayal. The other leads to self-control, clarity, and growth. The path you choose determines the man you become. Strong men don't ask for power back. They create conditions where power naturally returns. Or they walk away and build elsewhere. They don't linger in imbalance. They don't romanticize inconsistency. They don't wait for someone to decide their worth. If she delays responses, do not speed up. Slow down. Ground yourself. Recenter. Focus on your mission. Let silence do its job. And remember, the one who controls their emotions controls the situation. Now before you leave, understand this. This channel exists for men who are done being reactive, done being confused, done letting small behaviors erode their self-respect. If this message sharpened your perspective, if it gave you clarity you didn't have before, then show that you're serious. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next lesson. This is real talk for men who want discipline, presence, and power. Stay sharp, stay calm, and never chase attention that doesn't come freely.